I so love this handbag. At least that's what I told myself when I was handing over my credit card at the Chanel store. Hi guys, my name is Erica, and in today's video I'll be explaining the reasons why I decided to sell my Coco handle after only using it for a few weeks. If you have watched some reviews on the Coco handle, everybody says that this is an amazing handbag, and for the most part I really do think that this was a good buy, or maybe I'm just trying to comfort myself on the amount of money that I paid for it. And yeah, I just decided after using it for a few times that it really wasn't working out for the two of us. So anyways, in this video I'll go through some of the pros that I first saw in this handbag and the reasons why I purchased it, and then in the second part I will also go through the cons or some reasons that you should consider before making the purchase yourself. Okay, so let's begin with the pros, and of course the first thing that I want to talk about is the price point. So this bag retails for roughly, I think, around 4,500 USD. And I know it is a large sum of money, but at the same time, for a Chanel bag, and because it has all of the classic elements, including this turn lock, and then it also has like the smile face pocket back here, which is quintessential Chanel, I think that this is priced quite reasonably as compared to, let's say, the medium or the jumbo classic flat bag. So that would definitely be a pro. Another pro is that it has removable straps right here. And even though the straps aren't adjustable, they do come to a very good length when you are wearing it on your shoulder. Another pro I would say is it seems pretty spacious for a bag. It has one really big compartment on the inside, and then it has a smaller back pocket. It also has a zippered pocket and then a few open pockets as well. So that's another thing that I really liked about the handbag. And then of course at the bottom it also has feet to protect the handbag when you place it on the table. Aside from that, it has this beautiful top handle, which I thought was a pro at first, but I will explain in the second part why now I think it is a con. And they have this in a sort of lizard skin texture, but actually it's just calf skin that has been embossed in order to make it look like a lizard skin. So I think in terms of the way it looks overall, it looks very sophisticated because this is in a different color as compared to the rest of the bag. And I have mine in black caviar leather with aged gold hardware. After explaining all of the great things about this handbag, let's move on to the next part, which is actually the cons. And this bag overall, I'd say, is still a pretty good bag, but there are a few things that I think you should consider before purchasing the handbag. So the number one is that it is called a Coco handle, of course. And I never thought of this, but the handle here is very stiff. And it's not quite movable, but it does get in the way a lot of times. So like for instance, when you open up the handbag and then you just push this forward, this part really just digs into your skin and it just hits you at a very odd angle. Another thing about the Coco handle is the way that the handle is constructed. The stitches are actually all here at the bottom. I guess that is to conceal the stitching. But the problem is if you choose to carry the bag in the crook of your arm, it actually digs in a lot into your skin. So it does hurt, especially if you do have your bag loaded with stuff. And I don't even mean like overloaded with stuff. Even if I'm just carrying my regular stuff that I bring to work, I find that whenever I carry it in the crook of my arm, right after I will see red marks on my skin. So this bag can really only be worn as a shoulder bag or as a crossbody. But if you wear it as a crossbody and then you try to open up the bag, again, the top handle tends to hit you right under the breast area, which really hurts. So that kind of defeats the purpose of having like a carefree handbag. And I did buy this handbag specifically for work, and I wanted something that I don't have to worry about. That's why I got it in the Caviar leather, but then I found out that it was a little bit difficult to use. The next thing that I don't really like about this handbag is the fact that the bottom tends to sag. So right now, like, I bought this because of the feet, of course. Like I said, that is one of the pros, that it does have 4 feet. But because it has the 4 feet, this sort of whole bottom part, and it's not even that big of a bag, but the whole bottom is just sagging already. And it's not structured enough that it would like stay straight. It is a pretty structured bag, but at the same time, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, now that I look at it, I know, like, I feel that it's just making a sort of smiling face at the bottom, and I don't like the way that looks. I think it looks like as if the bag is quite old and the bag looks quite used, even though I've only used it like maybe 5 or 6 times at most. And yeah, it just has that sort of smushy look right here at the bottom, which I really didn't like at all. And speaking about the looks of this bag, the other thing that I didn't like about the look is that this flap part actually goes up a little bit. I don't know if it's very obvious on camera, but this sort of flaps up, and I think after a while it's going to do that even more. So I just didn't like the fact that it's already starting to do that at the side, and considering that this is just brand new from the store, you can already see that it's sort of like going this way. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I don't know. It just seemed so weird. So I didn't like the way that looked. I know that's probably because of the shape of the bag, but personally, I just didn't like the way that it looked, and I think over time it's probably going to flap up even more. So yeah, that is also something to consider, that this handbag may not age as well as, let's say, the classic medium flap. The third thing that I didn't like, or am I on the third? But anyways, I lost track. But anyways, let's start talking about the interior of this bag. And I did say that it is very spacious on the inside, and I did like the fact that it has like a compartment back here and then a compartment right here in front, and then it has this zippered compartment. But I found myself never really using this back compartment because it was just so hard to get into. And then the front compartment, even though it can contain everything that I wanted it to contain, I found that the opening right here is actually very difficult to get in and out your stuff. And because it was a work bag, and because I wanted to carry a lot of stuff on the inside of this bag, I just found that the space was very limited, even though this bag looks big on me. And I know that the bag does look quite large for my frame, so I was thinking that it could carry a lot more than its actual capacity. So, but in general, Chanel bags, I find that the capacity of a Chanel bag is, I don't know if it's because of the way it's made or the structure, but usually they do tend to carry a lot less than my other handbags from different brands. Another con that I found with this bag, and I'm still talking about its looks, is the age gold hardware. And at first I thought I would really like that sort of vintage vibe of the gold, but then I found like the way that it fades is all just at the edge part. And yes, it looks vintage, but at the same time it just looks like I don't know how to take care of my bags. And I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but the only places that are really faded is really just the edges of the hardware. So it makes your bag look like it was really handed down to you, even though it is a relatively brand new bag, and it looks like it needs to go back for electroplating, or it needs to go back for another plate of gold. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just didn't like the way that it looked. Like, I have a Laboy bag which has the exact same type of hardware, where it's the aged gold matte hardware, and I like the way that it looked. I found that it was very evenly done, and even on the Gabrielle I like the way that it looks, but on this bag it just didn't look right, or there's just something wrong with the way that it looks. But I guess if you are choosing a Coco handle in a different sort of hardware, or a different sort of color hardware, then this of course wouldn't apply. Another thing that I didn't like about the Coco handle is that it looks old right away. And what I mean by old is that it tends to crease right here at the top part. So because of when you open and close it, this back part right here already has a sort of crease, and that isn't even from opening and closing it a whole lot, but it creases very easily, even if you remember to take care of your bags. And I do really baby my handbag. I'm usually very careful, but even with being careful with this handbag, like, you can see it right away that it already feels like it has been used for years, which isn't the case. Mine is a 2018, so I bought this in early 2018, and it is a series 28. So that's how it looks like right away. So yeah, that was something that I wasn't really too crazy about, my handbag looking like it had already been used so often, even though it was only in its first week of usage. And then my last reason for not liking the Coco handle is that I find the straps a little bit thin, especially for a bag that is meant to be a little bit more hard wearing, and meant for something of this size. Actually, I find that the straps are very thin, especially since it is only held together by these 2 points at the front right here. It could be just a personal preference. I would have wanted something a little bit thicker, and or maybe like 2 straps or something. I'm not really sure. I just find that there's something off with the design of this Coco handle. Anyways, that is about it for why I dislike the Coco handle. The other reasons were really minor, but my main reason really is because of this handle right here, and I should have thought about that before I purchased the bag. I know that it was maybe a mistake on my part, but you know, as they say, hindsight is 2020. And yeah, I ended up not really using the handbag as much as I would have liked to be using it. So anyways, I hope that this video did help you guys, especially for those of you who are considering purchasing this bag. I know that most of the reviews are really good on YouTube, so I am playing a little bit of the devil's advocate and explaining some of the cons that I found while using this handbag. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you did not like this video, please let me know how I can improve in the comment section down below. Please be nice, follow community guidelines, and yeah, the YouTube community guidelines. And I will see all of you guys in the next video. Bye bye.